Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for the JOJOLands Chapter 6 review, titled Jungle Warfare Part 1. As after heading out from Rohan's villa with the diamond, pink dark boy, and the lava rock in hand, the Gain encounters what I assume to be is the first real stand fight of the parts, which we've been seeing glimpses of during these Rohan prologue chapters. First when Dragona, Paco, and Usagi were attacked inside, and then at the end of the last chapter as the cats followed the Gain into the jungle. So a bit of a shorter chapter this month, coming in at just 35 pages, which absolutely flew by, as it's also a very fast-paced chapter with a lot of movement and action, showing more of the strain's ability and setting up the start of this fight, which still manages to squeeze an important dialogue and an unexpected twist. So starting off with the cover page, we have probably the hardest art Araki has drawn yet for Part 9, with the whole Gain posing together looking like a straight-up album cover, with cash raining down on them and all over the walls, continuing to establish the theme of wealth the story is setting up. But now getting into the actual material, the chapter starts off with an inner monologue from Jodio reflecting on his current situation and previous interaction with Rohan. First saying something similar to his mechanism monologue and how where he lives, goes to school, etc. will help him grow as a man, but for now he's involved in this Gain just to make some pocket money, even showing some self-awareness to his actions, saying he's working in this group of 4 pieces of trash with the role of the lookout. So before, I kinda thought that Jodio was so young and immature he may not even think what he's doing is all so bad. Selling drugs and stealing diamonds, as long as it makes him money and gives him a better life, it's all good. So it's interesting to see that even Jodio considers himself a piece of trash at the moment, and isn't completely out of touch with his actions, which is great to see more insight into Jodio's perspective on things, even if it's subtle. And this is followed by Jodio pondering more on the lava rock that Rohan entrusted him with, asking why exactly did he leave it in my care, and wonders if this will all lead to some future event. So this could be Araki planting the seed for Rohan to return much later in the part to get the lava rock back, or to see how Jodio's life changes after having it for a while. Although I doubt Rohan has any grand plans for Jodio's involvement, as in the last chapter, Jodio was going to take the rock no matter what. It was only after Rohan realized it was being stolen that he flipped the narrative, telling Jodio that he entrusts him with the lava rock and to take great care of it, which to me seems more like Rohan not wanting to be completely defeated, so instead of just being stolen from, he made the best of the situation and made good faith with Jodio as the new owner of the rock. So I wouldn't put too much trust in this dialogue, meaning Rohan will for sure return, as this is just chapter 6, and as we've seen in JOJOLian, there's many plot points and implications Araki proposed earlier in the part that would fall by the wayside. Although of course it would be preferred to see Rohan return, as that's kind of being set up here, and I'm enjoying seeing this new side to the character, taking on a mentor role, guiding Jodio in the right direction and teaching him about mechanisms, which could be expanded upon in the future, further progressing the plot and characters. And I doubt Rohan would give up that easily, so this prologue offers a lot of possibilities for the future, and I would love to see a less linear narrative where previous events do matter and eventually come full circle. So continuing on, the first 12 pages of this chapter is the characters coming to understand the power of the lava rock, which we've pretty much solved by now. It's a supernatural object that attracts valuables, simple enough so far, although there are a few details that may provide further insight to the power. The first is that earlier in the chapter, there's a panel where Paco trips on a tree and Usagi is distracted by an iiwi, an endangered species of bird. Then immediately after, we see that the diamond that Paco is carrying and the illustration that Usagi had unknowingly leave their possession and gravitate towards Jodio. And this may just be the JOJOLian brain rot speaking, but this instance of Paco tripping and Usagi getting distracted almost seemed like they were caused by the lava rock, as it resulted in the valuables getting away from them, like a small wonder of view effect, as clearly the lava rock has something to do with the flow. Or this page could simply be Araki illustrating the nature of the jungle and what it's like being there, as you could easily trip on a tree root or look up and see some indigenous wildlife, which is probably the more reasonable perspective. So the Gain quickly realizes that these objects are moving towards Jodio, with Usagi pointing out that they might be able to use the rock to make money, which is an important detail for later. And as Jodio goes to grab the stray diamond, he triggers a trap set up by the cats, who arrange the strain like a tripwire that grabs Jodio by the leg, flipping him upside down full-on Snake Eater style, causing him to drop the lava rock next to the diamond. And pretty much the remainder of the chapter is Jodio, Dragona, and Paco all being attacked by the strain, as when Dragona tries to save Jodio, the strain wraps around him, cutting right through his side, and then proceeds to sew Dragona and Paco together, ripping through flesh no problem. problem. And while the gang were distracted by the strain, they realize Usagi's gone, along with the diamond, drawing, and lava rock, as we see in the distance the car they rented driving off. But before they can go after him, they need to break free from the strain, which Jodio is sorta able to fight off with November Rain, as he instructs Dragona and Paco to move directly underneath him, and using the rain, he's able to dissolve some of the strain, similar to how he used the ability in Chapter 2 to destroy the bag of drugs, being able to target just one object. As we see some of the strain fade away, although the chapter leaves off with Jodio still hanging from the tree and Dragona and Paco sewn together, so it looks like November Rain can't completely overcome the enemy, as well as we see the cats lurking off in the distance. So as you'd expect from a Part 1 titled chapter, we've pretty much just set up the stand fight, as the characters are hit with a surprise attack and going forward need to work together to overcome the ability or find the stand user. So while this enemy stand isn't the most mind-blowing power, I think the highlight of this arc is going to be the setting, as this arc is literally called Jungle Warfare and definitely has created a unique scenario, with the enemy presumably being a group of cats using their hunting instincts to attack in the jungle to their advantage. So in the coming chapters, I'm sure we'll see more into their hunting techniques and Araki utilizing the jungle setting to create an interesting fight, which looks phenomenal by the way. And of course, the big reveal this chapter is Usagi's betrayal, or at least what looks like a betrayal right now, with him racing off with the diamond and lava rock just after figuring out its power. So there is the possibility that Araki is misleading us and Usagi may come back with a plan to save everyone, but I'm definitely more so leaning to the side that Usagi hasn't had the best intentions from the beginning. Before this chapter even came out, Usagi was already the most suspicious member of the group, which was fueled even further last month with Rohan telling Jodio he shouldn't trust his friends, so it was only a matter of time. And from how Usagi has been written so far, it would actually make a lot of sense for him to double-cross the gang. As in Chapter 1, he was forced into the group by Meryl May Q, and then in Chapter 3, at the villa when Dragona, Paco, and Usagi were stealing the diamond, Usagi was the only one who wasn't attacked by the stand, having the foresight to dodge it as well as quickly understood its ability. And now in Chapter 6, Usagi again was the only member of the group who wasn't attacked, yet was perfectly able to snatch the diamond and lava rock and run off, almost like he was working with the cats or whoever controls them, as maybe this whole time he's only ever been after the diamond and was just waiting for a chance to take it, which maybe he tried to do in Chapter 3 when they were first attacked by the strain, which explains why the cats entered the villa, and now he found an opportunity to take it along with the lava rock, which just so happens to be because of the strain stand. So there's actually a lot of foreshadowing leading to this moment that I think perfectly explains why Usagi would betray the gang, and I even mentioned in last month's review that Meryl May Q could be behind this all, as she's the only other person that knows about the diamond and she forced Usagi into the group. So maybe before they headed off, she instructed Usagi to steal the diamond and get away whenever he got the chance to cut Jodio, Dragona, and Paco out of their share, leaving more for herself, which is totally possible. We have no idea what kind of boss she is and how she works, and this could all lead into another parallel of Part 5, with Jodio needing to defeat her early on, like Giorno did to Polpo. And who knows, maybe the strain is even her ability or she is controlling the cats somehow, and I just think that outcome would be a really interesting way to continue the story that mixes things up early on with a good twist and gives development to pretty much all of the characters. So those are my thoughts on Chapter 6 and some predictions moving forward, but let me know what you guys think about the JoJoLands so far in the comments down below. And next month we have even more peak to look forward to, as the JoJoLands Volume 1 is releasing next month, so we'll get some new artwork with that volume cover, as well as to celebrate the release, the JoJoLands will be featured on the cover of Ultra Jump, so even more colored artwork to look forward to. So thank you all so much for watching the video, please drop a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. 83% of viewers in the last 30 days have not subscribed yet, it's literally gone up since the last time I checked, so let's try to even out that ratio a little bit more. Alright, I'll see you all real soon in a new video, I'm out. Peace.